were commentating on it, and they kept calling me like super duper Yan, like, oh, this isn't Yan, this is like super duper Yan. I was like, it's kind of corny, but at the time I was feeling like it would be cool to not have my name Yan with that other person there. So from then on, I just started going as super Yan. I've been playing for so long, you know, before casually and then, you know, competitively, and now I'm kind of, you know, stepping on it just a little bit. But I guess before that, I've always played games. You know, I've always we had an Atari. We were kind of spoiled. So my dad liked games. He liked computers. He's a huge nerd. We were the first person on our block to ever have a computer. So, you know, kids would come over and play what we had. We had Sega Genesis, PlayStation 2. So I'd play all kinds of stuff. That's how I got my hands on Tekken 2, which was my first fighting game. You know, my first Evo is 2006, and and I remember going there with a group of friends, and I knew what it would be, but like I didn't know how fun it would be. Like this is before I drank or smoked too, and I don't even know if I was legally allowed to at the time. But I didn't. So I wasn't there for Vegas. I was there just for video games, and it was the most fun I had in my life, you know, and I know Evo's changed over the years, but I was like, I want to go to more events. I want to hang out with friends. I want to play. I want to compete and see how far I get, you know. And I went to like every major I could after that, for that time. I was born and raised in San Jose, and I grew up in South Bay. So I had access to some of the best arcades, you know, in the country. Our NorCal had a huge scene. SoCal had a huge scene. SoCal was accessible. You know, I had a car. I liked driving. I drove up and down the country or the state so many times to visit folks in SoCal, Super Arcade, Arcade Infinity. And then, you know, I know other communities have their arcades, but we have multiple. We had a lot of people who were really dedicated. People would drive, you know, 2 hours on a weekday night to come to Sunnyvale Golfland to play Tekken, you know, and hang out until 1 a.m. afterwards and talk about it, you know, that kind of stuff. And that's so the arcade scene's amazing up here. But my favorite music game of all time is Drum Mania or Gitadora. It's drum simulator basically. It's like Guitar Hero, I guess, for drums. And they have
Guitar Mania, Keyboard Mania.
I mean, Konami just puts Mania after everything. And there was even there's like Paradise, but there was like Keyboard Mania, Drum Mania, Guitar Freaks, it was called. I played all of them. I played even Para. The only one I think I haven't tried I kind of stick to the Konami games, so all the Bimani series, which are probably some of the more popular ones anyway, especially at the time. But the biggest ones I got into were DDR. I played that competitively, and Drum Mania. And Drum Mania has kind of evolved now to this thing. It's like Guitar Freaks and Drum Mania fused into this game called Gitadora. For some reason, I hate everyone who told me this because they're like, oh, Boxer has charge, so you're new, you shouldn't play a charge character. And I'm like, I didn't understand that. I still don't understand it, and it pisses me off because I didn't play for the longest time because I wanted to play Boxer because Boxer looks so freaking cool. Like, he's a boxer. Like, I don't know how to explain it to people, but like, I thought he was really cool, really, really cool. And he just looked cool. He looked angry and he looked fierce, and I wanted to play that character. And you know, learning that the actual moves were not hard at all. In fact, they were worlds easier than doing a quarter circle for me at the time as a new player. Especially as a Tekken player, like I didn't do quarter circles with Ling, you know, I didn't need to. So I got Brawl so Cross Assault was kind of a big deal in the FGC. So first of all, it was I'll try to be brief. Yes. It was Capcom put on this. It was for Street Fighter Cross Tekken, which was a big deal already because it was Namco game and Capcom game, like their major titles becoming one. You know, how is that going to work? Like, who's going to be in it? Like, people had a lot of questions about it, right? It was highly anticipated for that reason. So Capcom took it a step further with their promotion of the game and had this like show, this like a week and a half long, I think it was 10 days total, show that was like, it was a streamed live show of like these competitors, Team Tekken and Team Street Fighter, having early access to the game and having their teams and it was like almost like a reality show because I had these elements thrown in, like this is like a weird, like a challenge. It was the very first tournament I ever entered for Tekken, and he said, "Why are you entering?" And I'm like, "The same reason everyone else is entering. Like, do you think you can win?" And I was like, "No, I just started playing this game. I don't think I can win. I just want to see how good I can do." And he's like, "Why? Are you entering for attention?" And I was like, "No, I'm entering for the same reason everyone else is entering. I want to play and see how good I do and see, you know, and learn and get and compete. It's fun." Like, I think if any guy told him that, he would understand it. But if I say it, he didn't get that. He thought, he just was already set thinking that I'm here for attention. And I'm like, I get attention when I go anywhere. I don't need attention in the fighting community. Like, I don't, you know, I'm loud. Like
Right.
that comes naturally. So that's not something I was seeking out in the fighting community. I really just wanted to compete, and I'm a very competitive person. Well, I think he was cut off with Boxer before I started playing Samsho. I mean, there's a couple of years in between. Like,
Right.
what happened for me at least was you know, Street Fighter 4 died down, Street Fighter 5 came out. I didn't particularly like the game. I didn't like how it felt. I didn't even really give it a fair shot, I would say, like, honestly speaking. I played a little bit and I was like, it's not 4. No one's playing 4 anymore. Like, and at the time, Overwatch came out.
Okay, yeah.
Overwatch came out again, like, I've always played a lot of games besides fighting games. So Overwatch came out. It was exciting to me. He was like, do you play like SNK games? And I was like, no, I never touched King of Fighters. And he's like, dude, you should play Samsho. It's coming out. Like, I have the beta. Like, come over and play Samsho. And I was like, I had never heard of Samurai Showdown before. What the hell? And he was like super obsessed with it, and like he didn't have a lot of people to play with. So like I'd play with him, and it was like I felt that, like, you know, when it first clicks with you, and I was like, oh my god, I love this game. It's so fun. Like, I love playing this game. And like all I did was play Samsho for like a year, you know, before it came out and after it came out. My answer, I guess, you know, if it's fair, I'd say any TO, anyone contributing to the community in some way. You know, people forget about, you know, the blood, sweat, and tears that go into that, and like it's a very thankless job sometimes. Usually you hear about the drama or the hate, or like, or someone getting angry about some decision or something, and then you don't hear about, like, there's no like TO appreciation day. You know, there's no so just buy your TO like a coffee and a bagel and a pat on the back, and just show appreciation if you can. I think they never can get enough appreciation for what they do. What I really want is like, and I know it's greedy, and I know it's like, because I bitch about like the netcode and stuff. Like, we need rollback, we need good netcode, because I want to play at home. I want to play at home, and I want to play, you know, outside.
Right.
And it's like, when a game finally has netcode, people are like, oh, it has netcode, you're not playing. Like, Skullgirls has good netcode, you're not playing it. It's like, well, good netcode isn't the only requirement for me to have a game that I really love. It's like, you know, not to knock at Skullgirls or any other games, like KI and all that stuff. I did try KI as well, a little bit. But like, not knock at those games. Like, it's just like, I like Street Fighter 4, I like Tekken, you know, and those games particularly don't have good netcode. And so, like, you know, and I've worked, you know, positions related to esports, my last 3 jobs. And sometimes it's a matter of one person who has like a different job being dragged into this thing and saying, hey, make this happen in 3 weeks. Like, that happens a lot. And so like, I wouldn't, you know, blame someone for not doing their best and just not making it up to the community's expectations. But that's a bigger problem. That's like, we need to hopefully have these decision makers recognize that like the community is very important to this, to, you know, all esports and all fighting game players, and you know, help us foster that by giving us the resources to do it, and making great events for us, you know. And then at that point, it had been like a year and a half, a couple of years, and I was like, am I gonna play fighting games again? Like, I started, you know, my friendships with my Street Fighter 4 friends started kind of fading, or like I'd keep in contact with them less, and I'm like, these are my best friends, these are my brothers, like, and sisters, like, and, you know, I started every year or so, I'd step back and be like, am I even in the fighting community anymore? Like, I haven't played anything. I don't hang out with my friends anymore. I miss.
Choose your fighter.